And today you've got something interesting going on. Just logged in and looked at my tank list, and apparently I've now got a tier 6 rental tank from the Japanese tech line uh, for 30 days. And just having a look at it, it's got pretty interesting features at the moment. It's got 950 hit points, 650 engine power, about a top speed of 40 k's, a traverse speed of 26. The hull armor is not too thick, and if you look at the tank on the screen, you can just see that its armor sleeping isn't that great either, so it's probably not going to be much of a armored vehicle, if you know what I mean. Penetration of its gun isn't that great either. If you look at compared to the KV-1's top gun, they're about the same. The damage is all right, and comparable to the rate of fire, it's a fairly normal looking tank. And so just looking at the KV-1 research line, going along that, it's doing pretty well. Fully researched the KV-1S or KV-IS just recently, and I'll be trying to go for the T-150 Russian heavy tank soon. Almost got enough experience for that. And the KV-IS or KV-IS, and it's got a bit of research to go. Definitely going to research that heavy line of the Russians as well, though, because I'd like to try out the Russian mediums at some point in the future, and by following this line I can get straight to a tier 7 KV-13 if I wish, as long as I fully follow the research path. And I do plan to research both the IS or IS and KV sort of heavy lines of the Russians. Also looking at the American medium lines, M4 mediums fully elite, or almost fully elite. Still got to research the M4A3E2. Been using the M4A38 as well, and fairly far down that path now actually. I've got quite a bit of experience on that now. It's looking good, and really been wanting to try out that because I found that recently I've really enjoyed the sort of mobility that the M4A3E8 is, because usually I've gone down sort of the heavier and slower path, but really enjoyed the maneuverability and sort of fast-paced battle that comes with using a faster vehicle like the M4A3E8. Also, just having a look at the M10 Wolverine, I've already researched the Jackson and most of its modules. Just going for the Hellcat soon, but not a priority at the moment for battle-wise and research-wise. Just actually looking at the Jackson. Recently just finally researched the 90mm AT gun and really prefer it to the 76mm AT gun. And while I do like the rapid fire rate of the 76, comparable to its fairly good damage and penetration, I do really enjoy using the 90mm just for its damage and fire rate, and just overall it feels like I'm using a cannon. I know you play with the T-34 or really high tier tank destroyer or heavy, and they have huge guns on them, but when I'm using the M36 Jackson, it feels like just firing a cannon at the rest of vehicles, especially if they're at the same tier as that vehicle or below. Anyway, so I'm going to have a battle with this heavy tier 6 Japanese tank and see what it's like. And that's going to be on the map Live Oak Standard Battles. I don't really like this map that much, and so I'm going to have to be careful here, especially with this tank, which I'm not really sure how it's going to perform or what its strong points are yet. But as you can see on the list of all the vehicles in the battle so far, we've got quite a few HT number 6s in the battle, and so it should be pretty interesting. Another interesting point about this tank I found is that recently, when I've come back after not playing for quite a few years, there's a lot more tanks now that look quite a lot like the Tiger 1, and this Japanese tank is also very similar to the Tiger 1 in design. And I myself have never used the Tiger 1, and looking at the stats though, I have seen the Tiger 1 stats compared to these stats, and there's quite a bit of difference. So it'd be interesting to see if this tank is similar. Leave a comment if you know sort of more what the Tiger 1 performs like and how it fares in battle. Because it'd be really helpful just, for comparison. I'd like to know myself, so just leave a comment. Anyway, so just coming along the left-hand side here, I've got the Sherman 3 calling for help. I'm not really sure why. He's pretty good. And so I'm going to go down the left-hand side, try to stay out of line of fire, or line of sight, should I say, of the enemy vehicles, which will be trying to move towards the town, as well as along the bridge and just below that crest there. I'm trying to move up more towards their side of the town, just see if I can get a bit of advantage and a few shots at them if they try to move too far ahead. And luckily the rest of the team's coming up to support me, or just support themselves. I doubt they really care that I'm moving up. And let's move forward a bit more. Hopefully they haven't noticed I'm here. I doubt the camo rating on this tank's very good at all. And just see that heavy tank's moving along. There's probably another tank coming with him as well. And there we go, got a shot straight off. He stops, he's going to try to fire at me. And thank God, just a bit of tank damage, or sorry, track damage. And that M3 Lee's going along. Let's see if I can shoot him, and that was a good shot. Oh, straight through and got that M3 Lee. So the first kill, which is nice. And they already seem to be at a fairly big disadvantage. I got a few heavies here. I'm gonna come and help this KV-85 actually. And see if we can't take this guy out. Just realised I've forgotten to load any consumables on this tank, which is a pretty bad oversight on my part. Especially now I've just realised it's taking out my ammo rack, so loading speed's going to be a lot slower. But even with that, I've been really liking this gun so far. It's still reloading really fast despite the damage to the ammo rack, and the damage and penetration I'm doing is great. Felt like basically every single tank that I've shot at so far is going to take damage as soon as I shoot at them, so really liking that gun. I'm just going to move back towards the base because I realised we've pretty much lost all support on the let's call it the right hand side of the map where the train line is. And they're going to be going straight for our base. And yeah, so they're going to be trying to go for our base. I'll see if I can get my team to head towards their base and start taking the cap, just in case. Try to draw some of their fire towards it, or their attention. And using the auto tracking feature there, which I've only just recently found out how to use, and I've been really liking it. It does have its, I guess you could call it, downsides. And I think I might put a bit of damage on that tank then before he was taken out. So just going to keep an eye out here and see if there's any enemy tanks. And there's quite a few allies here, so we're going to move forward and see if we can attack. And you can see on the map now that there's actually some enemy heavies back at their base, so looking at what they've got left on their roster, there's not really many tanks there that I should be too worried about. Got quite a bit of health left. And M4A3E8, oh sorry, M4A3E2 there, yeah, M4A3E2 just coming for me there. And he's doing a bit of dodging and ducking and weaving. Gotta be careful with that Jackson. I'm fairly sure he has his top tier gun from what I've seen of his tank silhouette through the building. Just that difference in size of the guns. See if I can't get a shot off. And I did actually manage to hit, but did not go through, which is disappointing. I don't want to be in line of sight of that Jackson there. Just don't try not to take too much damage if I don't have to. And that Jackson's coming up for the shot again. See if we can't charge him and take him out. But no, the Jag Panzer's taken him out first, so that's just good. And you can see the rest of the enemy team is actually down there at their base. And we hold the advantage at the moment. Hopefully the friendly tanks back there can hold up for now. And they managed to take out another enemy. See if we can't stalk behind this Hellcat here, or sorry, Jackson. And got a shot off on him. It did a nice amount of damage. Just move out of the way while I'm reloading. And crap, he's taken out my track. That's not good. And he's taken it out again. And I can sort of see where this is going to go now. Yep. He's just going to keep shooting at my track. And I can't shoot him. And I'm going to have to wait till we get a bit of help. Hopefully that'll distract him soon enough. I'm going to try to actually reload a bit of explosive ammo. See if I can't take his track out when he tries to come around. And oh, lucky me, he's been distracted. And the explosive round is useless. And we're back to the same position we were in before. Unfortunately. Which is just great, by the way. And that's a bit disappointing. Could have definitely gotten a few more plays in there. But unfortunately, made a few mistakes. But pretty much, it's a victory here. He hasn't got a chance. He's about to get taken out by the heavy coming around the side. See if we can't get a shot off on him there. And no, just fired too quickly. Wasn't aiming properly. And he's gone. And I'd say that the remaining HT number 6 on the enemy team has not got long to live. But we'll start heading towards him anyway, just in case he does a bit of... No, wait, nah, he's gone. And that's a good game. Ended the battle. Definitely could have been worse for the first battle of the day in a new tank. Oh, look at those stats. That is pretty impressive. And look at that, we got a Confederate, cool-headed, a steel wall, shell-proof, fire for effect, nice, a master gunner, that's always good, and a bruiser, and a mastery badge 2nd class, which is alright. And this is going to be definitely the largest amount of awards I have gotten in a long time. I've only gotten that on a few other tanks so far. 3 or more awards. And it's the first battle on this tank, so that's pretty nice. But I'm actually not going to focus on this tank at the moment. I'm just going to try to keep on using my other tanks that I'm researching. There. Need a drink of water. Trying to get used to my other tanks and just... and learn how to use them better and make better plays with them at the moment. I'll leave this tank for probably other days, you know, just the first battle of the day, and that's about it. I won't bother putting the accelerated crew training on. Actually, no, I meant...